Good afternoon. I'm 14 First Alert meteorologist Arden Gregory. This is a live look at the Evansville riverfront with clear blue skies overhead there. It is hot, sunny, and dry, and it's going to stay that way through the rest of this week. There is at least an isolated chance of rain as we get into the weekend and early next week. I also want to mention we are under an air quality alert both today and now extended into tomorrow. So we were first under this air quality alert on Tuesday, then it was expanded to include today. Now today it's been expanded again to include tomorrow. So the parameters are still the same. Our air quality may be at times unhealthy for sensitive groups. So for most of us, this has no effect. You won't notice any kind of impact to your air quality, but just specifically those sensitive groups, people who are especially sensitive to changes in air quality. If you've got something like asthma or COPD, then just take it easy the next couple of days and watch for any coughing or shortness of breath. If you don't fall into that category, you don't need to worry about this. As for the skies overhead, lots of blue sky and sunshine, just a few very small fair weather clouds out there, but otherwise it's sunny and dry, and that's going to be the case through the next couple of days. Our temperatures are sitting in the upper 80s to low 90s right now. 90 degrees even in Mount Carmel, Oakland City, and Madisonville, Evansville and Newburgh at 89, Greenville, the warm spot at 92. And with all this sunshine, I still think we'll tack on another degree or two as we go through this afternoon, probably topping out somewhere in the low 90s in most locations. Then we'll drop back out of the 80s and through the 70s this evening, eventually bottoming out in the low 60s under clear, calm conditions by the end of the night tonight. Tomorrow is going to be a lot like today. It'll be sunny and hot with temperatures topping out in the low to maybe even mid 90s in some locations. And just, as a reminder, we are more than halfway through September now. It should be cooling off. Our average highs this time of year are in the low 80s. So we're running about 10 degrees warmer than average with these highs in the low 90s today, tomorrow, and on into Friday or maybe even Saturday before we start to cool back off into the mid to upper 80s as we get into next week. Now, kind of a good news, bad news situation here is it is a dry heat. That is good news for our comfort level because, low 90s, you throw a little humidity in that, all of a sudden it can start feeling like the triple digits. That's not what we're dealing with this time around. The humidity is going to be at a fairly comfortable level through the rest of this week. The bad news side of that is all the sunshine, the heat, and then also that low humidity. That combination means this drought just keeps getting worse. Every day that we have this hot, dry air in place, the drought keeps getting worse. So we continue to see more burn bans issued across the tri-state. Majority of the tri-state now included in some type of burn ban. We are sitting at moderate drought, but a new drought monitor comes out tomorrow, and I think we will see that moderate drought expanded and maybe some severe drought pushed into parts of the tri-state. They already have severe drought off to our southwest, and I think we'll see some of that expanded our direction because it has been hot and it has been dry for several days, and it's going to stay hot and dry for a couple days more. Now, by the weekend, there is at least an isolated chance. I think it'll be mostly sunny on Friday, but then by the weekend, we see these isolated rain chances starting to push in from the west. It'll be really spotty, very hit or miss. Many of us may stay dry through the entire weekend. So Saturday and Sunday, some of you may never get a drop. Others may get an isolated shower or even a thunderstorm and could even get rain Saturday and Sunday, but it's a very isolated chance. I think many of us may end up staying dry this weekend. Now, as we get into early next week, there is a slightly better chance we could see some rain Monday, and that chance lingers over into Tuesday as well, but it's still rather scattered. I'm not convinced that this will be any kind of widespread organized rain of any kind. It's going to be very scattered, very hit or miss. So there's an isolated chance of rain over the weekend, slightly better chance early next week, but again, still not a guarantee. The other concern is oftentimes when you have a drought and dry air already in place, even if there is rain headed our way, sometimes as it moves in over a dry area like that, all that dry air just kind of saps the moisture out of that storm system, and sometimes the rain never actually makes it very far. So I'll be very curious to see how this plays out, but I would not get your hopes up for any kind of widespread soaking, drought-busting rainfall. I just don't see that in the forecast, but we will be grateful for any rain we can get because we obviously need it. Now, I mentioned we see a bit of a cool down, highs dipping back into the mid to upper 80s Sunday through the middle of next week. That's still a couple degrees hotter than normal, though, and it looks like that cool down may not go very far. As we look at the extended outlook from Thursday, September 25th up through October 1st, still seeing a lot of orange and red on this map. The general trend is that we will still see above average temperatures all the way through the end of the month. The precipitation outlook shows that we're going to be sort of right at the cusp here. Drier than average weather expected to continue to our north, possibly some wetter than average weather down to our south, and the tri-state will be caught right in the middle. So as we get into the second half of next week, it does look like there may be a weather system across the deep south that may or may not get to us. So there's that possibility that even beyond Wednesday, as we get into the end of next week, we could maybe still see a little bit of rain, but it may end up staying to our south. Very iffy on that. And again, we're talking about something that's a week and a half away, so a lot of room for changes there. We are keeping an eye on the tropics. Gabrielle formed this morning. It's been a while. We had Fernan all the way back in August. We've gone about 3 weeks now without a tropical system right in the middle of what should be peak hurricane season. So that's very uncommon. But Gabrielle formed this morning, currently a tropical storm with 45-mile-an-hour winds, expected to strengthen over the next few days and become a Category 1 hurricane as we go through this weekend. You'll notice it's mainly just out over the ocean. By early next week, it may head toward Bermuda, but that's really the only piece of land in the path right now, generally not looking like any sort of mainland landfall of any kind. We are tracking a couple of other systems. They actually sort of overlap here. Both of them sit at a 20% chance of developing into a tropical cyclone. So we've got Gabrielle going now. We've got more storms rolling off the coast of Africa that, as they move out over the ocean, may or may not develop into tropical cyclones as well. Like I said, this should be peak hurricane season. Normally we would be tracking multiple storms, maybe even multiple named storms this time of year, as really the first half of September is when hurricane season usually hits its peak. Instead, we went through that entire peak right there with no named storms. We had Fernan at the end of August, and then we took about 3 weeks off there, which is incredibly uncommon. I don't think that's happened since '92, maybe. After Hurricane Andrew, there was a really long pause, but it's very rare for us to have this kind of break right in the middle of peak hurricane season. So looks like the tropics are starting to get going again as Gabrielle has formed. But again, no local impacts expected from any of that. It's going to stay mostly sunny, hot and dry with highs in the low 90s and worsening drought over the next couple of days. Again, we have that air quality alert just for those sensitive groups today and tomorrow. As we go through the weekend, maybe an isolated shower or storm. Don't be shocked if you get a little rain, but many of us will miss out. Slightly better chance as we get into early next week, but again, still no guarantee. Many of us may see this drought continue through the rest of this week and on into next week too. We'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. All right, that wraps up your forecast, but don't go anywhere. Jamie French and Robinson Miles will be right back with your latest news headlines.
Stay informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices. Live from 14 News, this is a 14 Digital News Desk update.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us for the 2:30 streaming show. I'm Jamie French.
And I'm Robinson Miles. As we get through the halfway point of our week, there is a lot happening in the Tri-State, so we're going to start off today with a traffic alert. Officials with the Lloyd For You project are warning of a new traffic shift hitting the city's west side. So starting today, crews will shift the westbound traffic lanes back to the northern half of the Lloyd, the original westbound lanes.
Yeah, the crossover will happen just west of Red Bank Road. Officials say southbound traffic on McDowell Road and County Line Road should use caution and come to a complete stop at the stop sign before you cross into westbound traffic. So sort of a mess there, so just make sure you're paying attention and be careful.
When you put our camera back up, I saw my eyes were wide open.
Reading
and
that story is
glazed
like,
over.
what?
I'm so sorry. I'm sure everyone feels the same way. These are important things to be aware of.
Yeah.
You know, if you drive a lot on the Lloyd, these are things that really are notable, but I get it. It's a lot, and things are changing a lot. So switching over to the other side of town, a new program at Mesker Park Zoo. Officials say they are starting up homeschool days. And we're told officials will have an enhanced zoo visit for homeschooled learners.
Yeah, so that means specialized activities like animal ambassador encounters, biofact encounters, a zookeeper chat, and more. They say it's all included in your admission to the zoo. So right now, officials say they've got some planned homeschool days. They are September 23rd, this coming Tuesday, and again on November 12th. It runs from 9:30 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. This is great. I was homeschooled a little bit growing up, and I remember like always missing out on the field trips and things like that. So homeschool days is a perfect thing for the zoo to start up. Very cool.
Well, it's very cool. It does conjure a very specific image that homeschool days you are sitting in the living room and not doing a whole lot else. But this is very cool. I'm not sure anything like this ever would have occurred to me. So this is a really cool
Good
opportunity.
idea. Yeah.
Now, to round things out today, the Westside Nut Club Fall Festival is, of course, it's coming. It is coming. And it is once again making a name for itself nationally. USA Today announced the Westside Nut Club Fall Festival is the best fall festival in the United States for the third consecutive year.
Oh yeah, a three-peat here. Nut Clubbers say this recognition is just a testament to the unwavering support of the community. The festivals that were on that list, that were in the running, these sound really fun. Fall for Greenville, Jack Pine Glass Pumpkin Festival, and the Sea Witch Festival. They were all on the list, but they do not beat our Westside Nut Club, I tell you. Also mark your calendars. The 104th Annual Westside Nut Club Fall Festival is almost here. It runs from October 6th through the 11th.
You know, I had the exact same take on this that you did. It's like, those seem really fun. But on the other hand, we know it's going to be quite as good.
No, they don't have
We
donut
know that.
burgers. They don't have
Right?
Grippo's crusted grilled cheese. Well, they
Weak.
might, but not as good as our Nut Club.
So says USA Today.
Yes.
All right. Well, of course, we have all these stories and a whole lot more in much greater detail. Head at 14 News at 4, 5, 6, and later this evening at 10.
All right. Thanks for watching this afternoon. Have a great